Holy smokies, the fact that Trump was rejected is no joke. I'll tell you what took place there. James, our large whale, also winded. Have been following for a few days, and he was on the verge of being liquidated, but he managed to avoid it, and is currently in his current role. The market is going crazy. We will discuss current events, future prospects, and the reasons for the market's confusion. Correct? Why? We're having a great time. The cryptocurrency market has experienced a wild ride in recent days. I'll tell you everything. Please smile at me, send me positive energy, and avoid feeling queasy from the roller coaster. That's all I ask. That like button is smashed by Smith Shitty because likes are free. Indeed. Let's get started, and don't claim I didn't warn you about it. Right now, XRP is up 0.4% for the day at $2.28. Although the daily candle did close above the $2.27 and change area, as you can see, XRP fell below the support level. You can see that red line here. Maroon, since it doesn't pop that much and isn't very hot, perhaps I should acquire a better one. That's not ideal because it looks like the trend lines. I'll experiment with it later. I wanted an extremely bright red hue, but I can't find it here. All right, let's get orange. Yes, this. Therefore, it will be fascinating to watch how the market performs today. That did make the news, and we can see that Bitcoin is at about 108,000. Actually, I was lying in bed preparing to go to sleep when the news broke, and I noticed that the market was rising. It was around 1:30 at that point. When the market began to rise after the news was released, I thought, oh, what's going on? After that, I looked more and discovered that a federal judge in the United States had halted Trump's Liberation Day tariffs. The Trump administration has appealed to the federal court as well. Will tariff uncertainty increase more as a result of this? In this case, the first immediate reaction was a pump because you know. If we go, we may also look at the S&P 500 and the stock market. The S&P 500 responded far better, as you can see. You can see it pumped up, and it has remained steady thus far. This headline has caused a little decrease in enthusiasm in the cryptocurrency market. Once more, a variety of things may be involved. Except for myself, everyone is in Las Vegas. It doesn't make me angry. I'm not sour. In Las Vegas, I kept running into folks. However, the fact that all of these traders and investors are in Las Vegas may be a significant contributing factor. Perhaps the Asian markets, for instance, or Asian traders who are not in Las Vegas, have a greater influence on the events in the cryptocurrency market than do European traders. Isn't that correct? Because many U.S. investors are currently attending this convention in Las Vegas, the African traders may have greater influence. It might have an impact on Bitcoins and the cryptocurrency market's current events. It did have a slight pump at this point, but as you can see, there was manipulation, and we watched it drop all the way to 106.952. Once more, James is mostly to blame for this manipulation due to his liquidation pricing, correct? I take it that he has now created a new role? Thus, he advanced in level. He stated that his liquidation price was 107,000. He would have been liquidated on this if that were the case, but this is after he re-upped his position. As you can see, this occurred at 5:57 a few hours ago. Thus, this came after. I apologize, but this was earlier. He was liquidated on this anyway. I have not received any updates from him as of this writing. He most likely fell asleep. He either altered his stance during the sell-off or was liquidated. Because I saw this tweet from Arkham, you can view 107,000. Yes, it was earlier. All right, this is a technical issue that I was experiencing. Hour by hour, it varies. Therefore, the likelihood that he was liquidated is high. To put it simply, I didn't notice any posts regarding it. 35 minutes ago. It was not updated by him 4 hours ago. Let's check to see if someone posted under him. Number, you were just liquidated. He received letters. Didn't you just get liquidated? Yes, he received letters from people. I'm not sure. He may have shifted positions and we aren't noticing it. Yesterday, I didn't click on the link. To view his wallet, I need to have clicked on the link. However, I'll let you know if he is liquidated later tonight. As you can see, they attempted to liquidate him, but this is still a continuing issue. James was being liquidated by this. Bitcoin has no justification for declining in this manner. Nothing. No news. This was blatant manipulation. Again, the markets are in a position where you need to exercise extreme caution on a daily basis, since such events have the potential to devalue your assets and result in your liquidation. Alright, so you need to exercise extreme caution. The market is still perplexed, though, as the cryptocurrency market is not as positive as the stock market. After the court invalidated these reciprocal tariffs, what comes next? Now, when we consider this, the China deal was already on hold, and we were already on hold. I take it that a large portion of this is already factored into the price. Even in the event that they are forced to cancel, we'll review this in a moment. Give back a little cash. Without considering the chance that Trump would have struck deals, the situation is essentially the same as it is now. Correct. However, once more, the United States filed an appeal against the court. Based on Kobesi's calculations, which projected 2024 levels of U.S. imports, all tariffs collected since April 2nd would need to be repaid if the Court of International Trade's ruling on reciprocal tariffs is maintained. This amounts to almost $10 billion in tariff income. This includes a base tariff of 10% on all nations and higher tariffs applied to specific nations. The United States would owe almost $3.5 billion to China alone. The Trump administration has already announced that it will appeal. Indeed, a new era in the trade war is upon us. This is fascinating, isn't it? And all of this follows NVIDIA's strong earnings from the previous evening. Thus, that somewhat benefited the stock market. Thus, perhaps that was able to raise the futures in conjunction with this news. But once more, we'll see what occurs when the stock market starts. You never know what might occur. The market might change course at any time. We can see that the VIX, or fear index, is still below 20 if we go and look at it. And he informed you that, fear apart, anything under 20 or in the teens is seen as fairly excellent. We can observe that we are still involved in stock market greed if we go. Additionally, the cryptocurrency fear and greed index was at 74. They remained intoxicated. I believe that we will continue to be in the 60 to 70 zone as long as Bitcoin remains above 105,000. Interestingly, I believe I read yesterday that this is the longest period of time Bitcoin has remained above 100,000. Therefore, it dipped under after being here for a longer time. Since 100,000, it appears to be the new normal, but things can change drastically very quickly. Naturally, this disparity up here at 92,000 is something I constantly look at, and it worries me. In a similar vein, I was worried about this at 77,000, and it took months and months for it to happen. But it did. It might take a few months, but this is a possibility that we might see here for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. Another possibility is that we might see something similar. Since we had that close plunge the last time, we can't rule it out of the question. Alright, so crucial. You would think that with news like I'm losing my voice, the relationships would wane. Yet this is amazing. The Court of International Trade overturns tariffs, and the yield on the 10-year note immediately surpasses 4.5%. Yields continue to rise regardless of trade agreements, tariffs, or none at all. Do you recall that